Are you using this one?
Sound check. Hello. What's up, friend? I'll turn it up. Which way do I turn it for up?
I don't know.
I think it goes that way. That's too high. Too high. Too high. Sound check. Hello. I don't want it too bendy for high notes.
Okay.
Okay?
I think so.
Cool. Boikala, 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 boikala. Boikala, 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 boikala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat neka.
Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's Sabbath service. The beautiful flowers on the bema tonight have been sponsored by Phil and Susan Carey in honor of Susan's 30th birthday. Happy birthday, Susan. 18th birthday, okay. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., we could all join Susan at the La Mirada Olive Fest in La Mirada Park. So, La Mirada Regional Park, we have a booth so we can stop by and say, hello, Susan, happy birthday. Also, tomorrow night is this service of Shlichot. At 7 p.m. is a dessert reception. At 7:15 is a movie. And at 8:45, we're going to have the Shlichot service in Havdalah. So hopefully we'll see everyone there. This Sunday is religious school at 9:30. And at 10:45 is the Shofar Show Good workshop, which I'm sure the rabbi would explain further. And at 10:45, no, the Education Committee rescheduled till next week. Wednesday, 8 p.m. is the Rosh Hashanah worship service. Thursday morning service is at 9 a.m. And that's the family service. That's correct, Rabbi. Family service at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. is the morning worship service. At 1:15 is Tashlit at La Mirada Regional Park. Friday, October 3rd at 8 p.m. is Eve of Yom Kippur and Kol Nidre worship service. Saturday morning at 9 a.m. is the children and family worship service, and at 10 a.m. is the morning worship service. 1 p.m. is the study session, and 2:30 is the afternoon worship service, and 4:45 is the Yiskra Nila worship service. That day, the church is having a memorial service at 11 a.m. We cannot park in their parking lot. It's going to be kind of rough. Everyone should carpool. They'll be parking on Rosecrans, but we all have to work together and respect the church who have graciously let us use their parking lot for many years, that they're going to have a full house over there, so we cannot park in that parking lot at all. Sunday, October 5th, Adult Ed has planned a Museum of Tolerance trip for the Anne Frank exhibit, limited bus seating. And November 15th is for the concert. There's flyers in the foyer. There's still opportunities to go in the book for businesses or personal to put a blurb in there. Also, we have the High Holiday Appeal campaign going. If you looked at the chauffeur, quite a bit of generous donations have already been made. So let's fill up that chauffeur. All right. I want to thank Dr. Irwin, Cantor Goldfarb, and Rabbi Goldfarb for tonight's service and the beautiful music and service that we will have tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Steve. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And welcome. The temperatures have cooled off a bit. It feels a little bit more like Southern California now at long last. Let's take a look at our cell phones and devices of communications, especially those of us who have the iPhone 6 without having to camp out at the iPhone stores. No. Ordered it online and UPS dropped it right to my house. Imagine that. It just goes to show you some Apple users are not smart. Because any idiot who wants to spend a week camping outside is silly. I guess it's a whole, there's a whole cult. What can I say? It's part of a cult following. But let's switch them all to the off and the silent position so that we might share our Shabbat service without interruption. This is our chance to collect ourselves, to take a breath, to take a pause. Even an artist who is painting a canvas must periodically step back and take a look at the canvas, the picture, to decide what colors, what brushstrokes, what things to apply next to create the picture. We are all artists, and we are working on composing our life and as a work of art. And if we don't take time to step back and to take a look, to make decisions about what to do next, about what color, about what brushstroke, then what will we end up with? So on Shabbat, let's take this opportunity to set down our palette and our brush and take a moment to take a look at where we are and at what we are creating. We welcome Shabbat like a dear friend into our lives with words you will find on page 11. Dodi Li from Song of Songs, traditionally recited on Friday evenings, traditionally recited by the man of the household to the woman of the household. But I'm happy to say that we live in non-traditional times, and so anyone can say the words of Song of Songs to anyone that they would like to greet. In particular, we greet the presence of Shabbat with the words Dodi Li, our chance to welcome our beloved friend, the Kala, the bride of Shabbat, this very Shabbat.
Vanilo, Haroel.
I invite us to turn in our prayer books to page 3 as we welcome Shabbat with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. My privilege and honor to invite Susan Carey, web mistress, master of professional creative skills, creator of the Temple Beth booth at the Olive Fest, and all good things in between.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Stay here. Wait. In celebration of your birthday with beautiful flowers, Cantor Arielle, there are purple flowers in here too.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, some of her favorite colors too. Oh, and look, it's purple ink, as if the rabbi knew to coordinate the colors and everything. Wow. Yom Huledet Sameach. Zehayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismachavo. This is the day Adonai has made, a day for us to rejoice and be glad. Mazal Tov. God of days and years, author of life, we thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of Susan Carey in recognition of her birthday. May Susan be blessed with health and with happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. With your presence at her side, may Susan be blessed to see her world in her lifetime. May Susan's heart act wisely, her lips speak wisdom, and her tongue whisper songs. May her vision always be toward the future, her eyes shine with the light of Torah, and her face glow like the splendor of the heavens. May Susan be blessed with wholeness, contentment, peace, and shalom. Celebrated this 24th day of Elul, 5774, the 19th day of September 2014, in the presence of Temple Beth La Mirada, California, signed by myself and our president, Steve Weissel. A certificate for you and a special blessing for you on your birthday. We join together in our Shehechianu, praising God for life and for being able to celebrate with Susan on her birthday.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu vekimanu Bazman hazeh.
Amen. Mazel tov.
Thank you. Thank you
Mazel
so
tov.
much.
You're welcome. Our service continues on page 9. As we read responsively. There are days we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. And there are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
Oh well.
And so we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Our service continues on page 27. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Let us read together. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. As my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We continue on page 28 with the words of our Baruch Hu. I invite us to rise as we are able for our call to worship. On page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvitvona meshanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimlo chalenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. We continue on page 33 as we read responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. Then this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, amcha. Al Ken Adonai
We continue on page 34 with the words of our Shema. Hear, O Israel, quiet ourselves. Let us listen for the words of God calling to us from the world around us, stirring us into action, calling to us from the melodies from within, moving us to raise our spirits, moving us to raise our voices, moving us to do.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We may be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi savecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Our service continues on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we see what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei vele, nora tehilot osei vele. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Miriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei vele, nora tehilot osei vele.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Service continues on page 43. The end of our day is at hand. The end of the week is upon us. Shabbat invites us into its warm embrace, into a chance to be still, to be quiet. What are some of the things that you are looking for and looking forward to on this, the end of day, and on this, the end of your week? What are some of the things that you are looking forward to? I'm looking forward to just a little bit of quiet, of not having to open mail if I don't want to, not having to look at email, not having to respond to issues or crises unless something should arise, but not looking to find those crises that I have to solve. I'm looking forward to not solving anything for the next 24 hours. I'm looking forward to just not. I like that. Not doing laundry, not grocery shopping, not paying bills. I'm looking forward to not. What are you looking forward to? Charles was very happy not to get any phone calls from me today. Our aged building. Think about the things you're looking forward to as we come. Yes. Sleeping in for those of us who have the luxury of being able to sleep late tomorrow, who don't have dogs they have to walk or things that require other attentions. Yes, sleeping late. This is what this time is about. Time for us to carve a little bit of us, of not doing what we've done during the rest of the week. Find something special to do between now and tomorrow night. Go for a walk. Watch a movie. Read a book. Read a magazine article that has nothing to do with anything at all. Just daydream for a little while. This is what Shabbat is made for. We read together on the bottom of page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter.
Long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety. And in your presence are acceptance and gentle love.
Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. In a moment, we will continue with the words of our tefillah, our prayers deemed as central to our worship service by our rabbis, prayers that invite us into a dialogue with our ancestors, our immediate ancestors, yes, and our ancestors of 4,000 years ago. A conversation and a dialogue with Abraham, with Sarah, with my grandparents, Benjamin and Helen, Jesse and Eunice, with my great uncles, Jack, with family members I'd only heard about. This prayer invites us, these prayers, invite us into dialogue, into conversation with those who have come before us, those who are here with us, and those who are yet to be. I invite us to sit for a moment. Let the words and the melodies that our Cantor will sing bring us into this time of prayer. And when you feel ready, rise as you are able, and we will continue with the words of our tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממיט ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue on the top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Please be seated. We continue on the bottom of the next page. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, ritzei v'imnuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'ten chalkenu v'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libenu la'ovdecha be'emet, v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu ba'ahava uvratzon, Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu va'Yisrael, mekadshe shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. We continue on the bottom of page 57. Let us read together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and in our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and to do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yira na'avod. We continue on page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of our soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And we continue on page 61. Let us read together at the top of the page. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country.
Safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May
Contentment reign within our borders. Health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom v'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol leit uv'chol sha'a bishlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom.
We pray for peace for our world and for those whose peace, whose shalom, has been disturbed, perhaps shattered even by challenges they are facing to their health, their bodies, their souls, their well-beings. The words to our Misha Berach, our prayers for healing, can be found on page 253. During the musical interlude between the paragraphs, I invite you to share aloud the name of a loved one that you would like to include in our prayers for healing. May all who have faced challenges to their health and their well-beings continue their journey to a refuah shlema, to a complete recovery. We call to mind in particular these members of our congregational family who find themselves in the hospital this week. Lorraine Stein, Ezra Joseph, and Ari Raphaelov, who are all facing challenges to their health and their well-being. We hope and pray that they and all those who are facing challenges will continue their journey to a refuah shlema, to a complete recovery and a return to their circle of family and friends in shalom, in wholeness. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those in need. And let us say, Amen.
Renewal
I invite you to join with me. We come to that spot in our worship service when we pause even from the prayers of the page, from the melodies we sing. We come to a special moment of quiet, of just being. No tasks to respond to, no instructions to follow, just to be with our thoughts. To bring us into this time of quietude, I share these words. O God, help us to learn to stop the wheels of every day, so that we might be more aware of this Shabbat. Help us find the stillness of this day, which the soul cherishes. Help us to renew our covenant with you and with our ancient, yet ageless people. We need, O God, a quiet space to test the balance of our lives, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. May we find steadiness in your presence. We need quiet places and stillness where we can hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness from which we can reach out to each other and to you. And so we pause for a moment of silent meditation. Cantor, thank you very much. Dr. Irwin, thank you as well. Beautiful music, wonderful voice. Glad to have you all a part of the service. The gruesome threesome present Shabbat. Well, this is it, folks. We have come to the end of our year. This is the last Shabbat of 5774. And we might be thinking to ourselves, it seems like the year has flown by. But actually, unlike the Gregorian calendar, where we only benefit from one leap day, the Jewish year this year was 20 days longer than it was last year. Think about this. Last year, Rosh Hashanah occurred in early September, September 5th. Now it's September 25th. So we actually got an extra bonus of 20 days in this year. And what did we accomplish with those extra 20 days in this year? I still feel like I'm running behind time no matter how many extra days there were, whether it's 1 or 20 or even just a quarter of a day. It's hard to play catch up, but we have come to the end of this, our Jewish year, and this, the last Shabbat of 5774. We're having to relive the 70s. You realize that. Next year will be 75. We're reliving the 70s. So I expect people to show up on Rosh Hashanah wearing bell-bottoms. Okay? Remember bell-bottoms? Okay? Well, fringes on their sleeves and vests and... Yeah, so no, please come dressed in our... I think part of the 70s were definitely the ugliest decades. There is a... As you have heard, there is a Chinese curse that turns out not to be a Chinese curse at all. It is not at all from China. It has absolutely nothing to do with China, and yet it has been repeated enough that everybody assumes that it is an ancient Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. That is not how the Chinese curse goes. The Chinese curse actually goes, it's better to be a dog in the time of peace than a man in a time of war. So I guess that's how, roughly translated it becomes, may you live in interesting times. But these have been indeed rather interesting and rather precarious times. The past year has seen a lot of interesting things. I would like to think I am ever an eternal optimist, or some people call me naive, perhaps, but I am eternally hopeful that the human nature can indeed improve upon itself. I mean, that is the whole reasons for the holidays that we are about to celebrate, is the fact that human beings can indeed change. Yes, it's very hard for us to do that, but we can change. We're in the midst of working on some changes with Micah's dog. I haven't talked much about Micah's dog. I spoke last week of Chamesh Esrei Chatulim. Anybody remember what that means? Chamesh Esrei Chatulim? Oh, yes. Yeah, 15 cats. That's what was living next door in the apartment to us in Jerusalem. But I haven't talked to you much about Mandy, but we're learning a lot. We have engaged a professional trainer to work. Yeah, and so we have Mandy right now doing push-ups. Okay, all right. She's got the one-leg lift going very good. But we have engaged a trainer who is actually helping to train us as well. We're getting into the mind of a dog. Very scary place to be. Very scary. I thought my mind was a scary place to be. I've now learned that the dog's mind is an even scarier place to be. But we've learned and have been treating Mandy. So we got the little bag. You've seen them like at SeaWorld. They've got the old little Kipper snacks or whatever. We don't feed Mandy Kipper snacks. She gets little doggy treats. But we actually have a bag that we go when we're going walking. And we are training her to walk. And she's very enthusiastic. Such a loving dog. But a little bit goes a long way. And so we've been working with her to try to help her stay calm. And the best way, according to the trainer we're meeting with, is with snacks. I'm not sure if we are going to help train Mandy or give her a food complex, but this is, you feed her, and this is how it works. And it does work. Mandy has responded to a whole variety of commands now. She's still very enthusiastic and loves to play, but we're able to redirect her very quickly with just a few little snacks in the past. And now we just say the command and she actually responds. And it's really neat because we've also inherited our son's dog, Sam. When we left Columbus, Ohio, we had 2 cats that did not travel west with us. And there was a reason for that. And we rather enjoyed quite a few years of not having dogs, cats, anything. No hairs to pick up, no drool on pants, no nothing. And now we find ourselves with 2. Sam is a little bit older than Mandy, and the 2 of them love each other. And Sam will play with Mandy. Sam is like the little cousin that goes around to the bigger cousins, but Sam is the older. Mandy. Mandy is definitely the younger, and she goes around to Sam like the cousin that always goes around, will you play with me? Will you play with me? Will you play with me? This is what she does. She nudges Sam until Sam finally reluctantly plays along with her. But Sam doesn't do well with the treating snack stuff. Ben didn't train her with treats, and so she doesn't respond well. She kind of gets very anxious because she wants the snack, but she doesn't know what she's supposed to do. So she kind of spins around sometimes and will sit when you don't tell her, and so we're working on that. But I was thinking, if only the human mind could work that well. If only we could train our mind to focus with snacks. Well, maybe not with snacks. Maybe that's part of my problem, I know. I'm very focused when it comes to snacks. But maybe if we could train our mind like a dog. Because the amazing thing is that I don't know what Mandy remembers of the painful things from last week or the year. She was a rescued mutt. She's a rescued Staffordshire Terrier, a.k.a. pit bull, but just a loving, loving animal, just fabulous. But I don't know what she remembers of before we picked her up when she was 10 months old. But she doesn't act like she's got a lot of baggage. And wouldn't it be wonderful if the human mind could learn to forget some things too? If we could treat our mind, maybe, and not remember some of the silly memories that we drag around with us. If only there was some way to kind of hit a little delete, a little purge kind of thing. Just, dump it out. We've learned the lesson. That's the important thing to take, is the lesson we learned, but always having that flashback come up in our minds. No one's quite figured that out yet. Whether it's Gandhi or Buddha or great rabbis or whoever, no one's figured out exactly the trick. And that's the challenge. And so instead, as we come to the end of this very interesting year, let us find ways when we look back to treat ourselves for the things that went well in our lives. Let us not dwell on the mistakes. I would dare say, of everyone present, you made fewer mistakes than you made good things. You made fewer goofs along the year than you made the successful things that you did. And so let's remember that those little things are truly little. We learned the lesson. Let's focus on the successes. Let's focus on all of our successes during this past year as we begin to move into the new year ahead. Let's not focus on the little dot of the mistakes. Instead, let's look at the whole page and see all the good things that we did this past year, the good things that happened to us during this past year. L'shana tova tikatevu. May we all inscribe ourselves in the book of life, blessing and peace in this coming year. Shabbat shalom. We move to the conclusion of our service with the words of Arielle. The adoration can be found on page 282. And as we turn to page 282, I invite us to rise as we are able.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegorali
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts and in our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. The words to our Kaddish can be found on page 294. As we call to mind those for whom we are observing the Shiva period, Rita Geller, the wife of Mark Geller, and Larry Vi, father-in-law of Kurt Bailey, our custodian for those who don't know Kurt Bailey. To those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing Yahrzeit. Carl Raphael Kulka, Molly Siegel, Gilbert Ulibari, Ann Lair, Katie Berman, Morton Bogorod, Fred Ender, David Granick, Fred Horowitz, James Niemeyer, Gerda Lewin Denwitt, Saul Kritschmar, Louis Levin, Ethel Talmud Mandelbaum, Martin Becker, Robert Gillis, Irving Feuerman, Susan Allen Basil, Fanny Roberts, William Otto Rose, Julius Davis, Samuel Klein. To those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period. Jack Weissel, Les DeBovie, Janice Pivo, Ian Shine, Gerald Shane, Lillian Ahrens, Jan Berg, Norman Skorheim, Howard Klein, Peggy Berglas, Richard Lawson, Rosalie Hirschman, Sally Gruber, James Elliott, Rosalie Meltzer, Rabbi Ken Weiss, Stephen Schechter, Rabbi Chaim Asa, Suzanne M. Cohn, Don W. Fagan, Jerome Chudnoff, and Miriam Harrison. If there's a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name. To those that we have named aloud, and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories. We link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who continue to give their lives for our country, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, the members of our police, our firefighters, and the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who continue to give their lives for the hope of peace. Zichronam levracha, may their memories always be for a blessing, as we share together the words of our Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemed Rabba, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari vimru, amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yatadar, v'yatale, v'yatalal, Shemei d'kudesha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Vimru, amen. May all of us who mourn and all of us who are bereaved, may we find through God's presence a source of strength, courage, and hope, above all a source of shalom, of peace, and let us say, amen. We conclude our service with those very words, Oseh shalom bimromav, may the one who made peace in the high heavens give us the strength and the courage to make peace here in this world. The words coming to us from Job, and I invite you to put your arms around the shoulder of someone next to you. Hold the hand of someone who needs to remain seated so that we might create for ourselves a link of shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.